Greetings and a warm welcome to the Prakash Batna Show. I am your host Prakash Batna, and our mission is to make sales and selling an enjoyable and seamless experience. As always, we bring you the most brilliant minds and industry experts who have traversed the landscape and are now here to share their incredible journeys, success frameworks, invaluable experiences, unique perspectives, and profound learnings. Join us as we dive into the world of sales, uncovering the secrets to staying ahead in the game and achieving extraordinary success. Get ready to be inspired and empowered to elevate your sales process to new heights. Entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey, and it's a journey of unknown terrains, not sure in which direction it will go, what will happen tomorrow, lot of uncertainties. And today we have a very special guest with us who will uncover these secrets and help us navigate the journey smoothly and seamlessly. But before we dive into the discussion, let me take a minute or so to introduce our guest for today, Mr. Prasad, who is a management professional with over 15 years of experience in various business facets of the automotive industry in both India and Germany, having authored various research papers which are published in many national and international conferences and journals. He has also been awarded the bronze medal at regional national competition for young managers organized by IMA, ranked among the top 1% of automotive professionals according to Social Selling Index of LinkedIn, has written over 1300 posts and generated 1.3 million views. Wow, that's an incredible feat on various topics covering management topics and various other issues. He has also been a host to one of the most popular show in Germany, India Chart Masala on 104.8. Currently, he is a mentor to many of the startups and founder of Greywine Solutions LLP, a company whose mission is to reduce the carbon footprint of individuals and organizations through the adoption of sustainable products. What an incredible journey it has been, and absolutely fantastic credentials, Mr. Prasad. So, let me welcome Mr. Prasad to the Prakash Batna Show. Mr. Prasad, glad to have you on our show, and it's an honor to be interacting with you today on a very important and burning topic. Of course, it's a burning topic because of a lot of startups coming up, the entrepreneurship journey, many of them finding it difficult, challenging, and so on and so forth. So, once again, it's an honor. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on board. And thank you so much for accepting this and coming on our show. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prakash. I think it's a good opportunity for me to share my experiences. And after all, it's all about sharing your experiences with people and help them out, not make those mistakes which you would have done, and they also grow. And that's what is buoyancy about. You grow when others grow. So share your experiences with them, and I think this platform of yours is such a great opportunity for me to share my entrepreneurial journey, the unknown territories that I came across, no matter of how many years of experience I had in the corporate world. But entrepreneurial experience is totally different, and it's a great opportunity to interact with all your audiences and share my experience. So thank you for this platform.
Thank you. Great. So, let's begin our journey and let's begin our discussion. But before we get into that, you had a very successful and incredible journey. Like I have whatever I have spoken, it's just tip of the iceberg. Because of the time limit, I can only talk that much. But your journey has been incredible, and you have done various roles across automotive industry in India and Germany. While you also hosted a radio chat show, then you are a mentor now. You've been active on various platforms like LinkedIn is one of those. You've been writing journals, and you have also authored a book, and so on and so forth. So tell us about this professional experience and these different journeys that you have been taken over the last 15 years, or you have gone through in the last 15 years. If you can just give a highlight glimpse to our audience, that would be great.
Sure. Well, my professional journey started with an unexpected moment at Bosch. Back then, I really had not planned to give an interview with Bosch. I happened to just come back from London where I had presented my research paper, and I just tagged along with my friend rather than just waiting outside. I thought, let me go and just give it a try. So, in the hindsight, today I consider myself really fortunate to have considered and chosen Bosch over another IT company that I had in hand at that point of time, even though the offered package at Bosch was almost 50% lower. So,
Hmm.
uh, I felt that at that point of time, choosing a career not on package, but more on the responsibilities and roles is more important. And today, when I look back, I started my career as a product manager, as a graduate engineer trainee, and I was handling a product which is a very mundane product called automotive horns. I think we all use horns on a day-to-day basis,
In
but
India,
it's
it's quite visible.
absolutely. So it was a wonderful product, and it's my dedication, my diligence, which gradually helped the trust to gain the trust within the organization. So as a result, I was interested with one of the most challenging product, and even I consider most challenging role until in my entire career until now, which is handling of a product called automotive batteries. Because this role really expanded my horizons across departments and garnered great insights into each department cross functionally and helped me to understand the intricacies of the business strategies. And this is when, as I honed a lot into my business skills, I participated in external events and where I also was recognized as a regional winner for a regional bronze winner at a national competition for young managers organized by IMA. So all these achievements, recognitions, they really opened the doors for me for an external assignment, which was in Germany. And I was sent for a global product manager role, which is for a product which was in the end of its life cycle. So the role and Germany or the experience in Germany eliminated the intricacies of really working across borders, cultures, and sharpening my interpersonal skills. And I really learned to draw a line between professional and personal spheres. So trying to maximize your productivity within your working hours, prioritizing tasks on a daily basis. So my time in Germany was more honing my interpersonal skills rather than as a product manager skills, and that I'm sure I think is very very important for each and every one of us, no matter in what role that we are all playing. So, after a couple of years in Germany, I came back to India and I took over this role of being the channel manager for Bosch Diesel Service Network, which was about more than 1,200 at that point of time. So transitioning from a product manager to a channel manager really endowed me with a profound understanding of managing a nationwide channel which was comprising over 1,000 outlets. So this role not only required in terms of maintaining the brand standards, but also really getting into each and every outlet of it, the workings, the challenges each one of these outlets face. So it really helped me to enhance my business acumen on an overall basis. So after that, I moved out to a company called Timken, where I handled a diverse role of being a product manager and a channel manager for the automotive aftermarket segment. And within a few years, I got into a role of handling the entire mobile division, which was comprising right from the OE to the auto aftermarket. So this really gave me an insight to the entire automotive industry, managing the entire mobile division for Timken at that point of time. So as I grew professionally, uh, maturing as a professional, I started to realize there's a lot of contribution that we need to make towards the society, which led me to a lot of self-initiated initiatives like Viman. Viman was a project that I initiated, which was more working towards the women empowerment and child soft skills. So wanted to always kind of uplift the community because I felt that everyone have the talent in them. It's just these exposures and opportunities that are given to people will help them to really bring out the real talent amongst them. So while these initiatives might not have realized the aspirations that I started with, but it really spurred me to kind of further contemplate on our societal challenges. And that's when, along with my work, I joined an organization called EV Experts Foundation, and where I was one of the core team members as well as the head of strategy for this organization, which was working right from the automotive segment of electric vehicles to women empowerment to rural development to agricultural space. So entire space of wherever we could work as a improvement to the society. So while I was working, it can really he started to read more about environment, started to read about the climate change, and then I realized that there are two things that I could either do. Either I could just write about it, blog about it, or I could really do something about it. And that's when it's important for all of us to realize that rather than just talking, its action makes more sound and is more important. That's when I started this foundation or this my company called Grivine Solutions LLP. Now, the Grivine Solutions LLP is a company which is on a mission to reduce the carbon footprint of every individual and organization. While we all desire to have a livable planet, but the action to make a livable planet is also with us. So it's not that someone else will take the roles or the responsibility to make a livable planet, because we are all part of the problem. So we also need to be a part of the solution, and that's when we have created a range of products which helps consumers, which helps corporates to adopt sustainability as part of their daily lives as well as for special occasions. So it's a word with green and rewind. So we've combined the two, and let's say that we called it as rewind. Let's rewind to a greener planet. So in summary, my career really has been with a lot of unexpected opportunities, diverse roles, personal growth, and a firm commitment to really creating a positive impact on both the business world as well as the environment and the society that we live in. So just believed in doing the right things, and the right things will happen. As they say, I mean, one of the most famous dialogues are from the movie Three Idiots, which Rancho says, "Success ke piche mat bhago,
Yeah,
excellence ke piche,
absolutely.
yeah, success jak maar ke tumhare piche aayega." So that's
Absolutely.
what I think is I
They
believe.
always say, chase excellence, success will follow you types.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, but then, Prasad, honestly, it's been, I was, I was just listening to you and the entire journey. It's so wonderful. And honestly, believe me, not many people, many of them get opportunities, but not many of them try to seize that or try to even see that it is an opportunity. Only very few people understand that this is an opportunity. Whether it is a bad or good, that doesn't matter, but it's an opportunity for me to either excel or gain an experience. Okay. So,
Absolutely.
and I'm glad that you have been to various facets of your journey. And so when you say Viman is an acronym, if I'm not wrong, or is Viman is a
No,
word itself?
Viman is a word itself. Viman is takeoff, right?
Okay, yeah.
So takeoff
So I thought,
means for
and
these
in
people. So
understood, understood.
yeah.
And so, very interesting. You also had a very short stint in, maybe I call it a radio jockey or a radio host or whatever name that you give it. But you had a very short stint, or if not short, but at least a decent stint of an year or so with the Indian Chart Masala show in Germany. So how did that happen? And tell us something about that particular journey or that particular episode.
So India Chat Masala happened based on I was called for an interview. It was 2014, and the Indian elections were a big talk of the town across the world. So
Yeah,
right
that was.
from Narendra Modi to Rahul Gandhi, everyone we've been talked about. And as an Indian, there was a show running called as People Across Borders.
Mm-hmm.
So they were looking for an Indian, and they got in touch with me, and they called me for an interview along with one of my known Indian who was staying in Germany for almost more than 15 years. So we both went for this interview, and then we had a nice chat about India, its culture,
Nice.
how Bollywood, and all these things. So after that, I realized it because 2013 is when I moved to Germany, and I saw that. I mean, I had the opportunity of having a relocation agent, but if I didn't have one, I mean, there's a lot of challenge that you need to face on when you're relocating to a different place. So I
Mm.
saw that there is an opportunity for us to spread the Indian culture, to introduce Indian talents who are already staying in Germany, and also talk about the processes, the laws, with people who are coming newly from India to Germany. What are the different laws and processes? How they can, because one, there's always a language barrier there. Not many speak English fluently, so you need to be. German is a language that they speak. So you need to really understand the laws and every aspect of it when you're relocating. So this is an opportunity. I felt that it's really good for me to create this radio show. Every Friday of the last month, we used to have this radio show where we used to talk about the Indian culture. We've introduced cricket. I mean, right from how basic that a cricket, what
Wow.
cricket, what are the rules, how do you explain that to a German? Then we've talked about when a doctor moves from India to Germany, what are the ways and what are the rules that a doctor needs to follow to practice there in Germany. So we had a doctor, Indian doctor, who had moved a few years ago. So she came down, she explained her experiences. So it was all about sharing this with people and giving that platform to make sure that the relocation becomes a little bit more easier, as well as more to kind of there are a lot of Indians who could support each other to help them in this movement. So that's how it
Mm.
was. So for a year we did this radio show, and after that I had to move out. I had to come back to India, so I could not continue, but it was an amazing experience in terms of what topics. Because as small as a playing cricket, how do you
Mm.
explain this to a person who doesn't know about it? So
Yeah.
the communication skills really kind of gets to a different level.
Mm.
You start thinking about from right from the basics, right? You start explaining what is a ball, what is a bat, why do you, how many overs are there, what are the different rules within the game. So it's so important that and so the
So what
entire
I understand
radio.
in terms of also, sorry, I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
interrupting to my point. So it's also about having the right communication, having the right attitude, and articulating what is given or what is being understood, so that the larger audience understands what you're trying to tell. So articulation, communication skills goes to the next level, if I'm not wrong, through that experience that you have.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if you can, they say, right, if you can explain a concept to a 5-year-old kid, that means you've
Hmm.
understood. Because a 5-year kid doesn't know what you're talking about. So
Yes.
it's all about trying to explain a concept to someone who doesn't know it, and that's when your communication or articulation skills gets more better.
Yeah, and that's when the storytelling comes into the picture. Then that, anyways, we will discuss a lot in our in our journey of our discussion,
Yeah.
because communication, articulation, that's the foundation, I believe, for a great storytelling and a great pitch. But before going to that level, uh, your journey from a professional to radio host to donning various other roles like writing articles, authoring a book, to CEO and finding a company. How did this happen? And what's been more challenging? Is it the professional ecosystem or the entrepreneurial journey? And why now? Like, I'm sorry, I'm asking two to three questions at one go, but then I thought it would be better because all these are interrelated with each other, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
why now? Like, you could have stayed back because you had a very successful stint. You could have stayed back in your professional career and maybe started some years down the line, or maybe you would have continued in the same corner. So, any particular reason why now, how this journey has been from a professional to a CEO, and what's been more challenging?
Uh, See, both the professional and the entrepreneurial ecosystem come with their own set of challenges. And the difficulty of each role can vary from based on individual preferences, strengths, circumstances. But I can just outline some of the common challenges, patterns, and things for both a professional as well as an entrepreneur. Coming from a professional side, say in a corporate world, there's a structured environment. So in a
Yeah,
professional setting, there's a well-defined structure, hierarchy, established processes. So whilst this brings a lot of stability, it might limit the ability to make quick decisions and really experiment with unconventional ideas. Not every company helps in terms of experimenting with unconventional ideas. There's a limited autonomy. Professionals usually have a defined set of roles and responsibilities, which can sometimes limit their scope of creative problem solving or decision making. Also, narrow focus. Professionals are often specialized in certain set of areas, which can lead to a narrow focus and their designated tasks rather than leaving a holistic view of business. So you say that this is not my set of responsibility, this is not my expertise. So you kind of grow within that ladder of it. And with large organizations, there's a lot of corporate bureaucracy as well. So the bureaucracy itself leads to a lot of slowdown in terms of the decision making and the innovation that can happen in corporates. But while these are challenges in the corporate sectors or in the professional ecosystem, the entrepreneurs also have a lot of challenges. Like there's a lot of uncertainty and risks. So no matter how many risks that you kind of say that I have noted down all these risks, there's some risks that you might have
yeah, I agree with that.
overlooked, or yeah, so there is a lot of uncertainty and risks. So it's about handling those risks. So it's I feel that as an entrepreneur you just need to handle those things. It's not about preparing for each and every one of it. So entrepreneurs face a high level of uncertainty and risk, as success is really not guaranteed, and failure can have really personal and sometimes even financial implications as well. We need to multitask. Entrepreneurs need to do a lot of multitasking. You need to be the office boy of your company. You need to be your CEO of your company. You need to be your the marketing head. So you really need to manage various aspects of the business, forms, operations, marketing, financial skills, everything. So right from your starting of your day, you make so many decisions. Should I use a font of for branding of this color, this letter, or should I spend this much money for this event? Should I spend this much money for this campaign? Every minute you're making decisions. So there's a lot of decision overload that happens for an entrepreneur. And the weight of these decisions can be really overwhelming sometimes, especially in the early stages. I mean, once you grow, once you scale up, you have a marketing head, you have a financial head, you have some heads that you're coming and sitting in those positions. But until then, being in the early stages of it, you wear all those hats on yourself. And in terms of the another challenge which I see is the financial instability. Of course, not every startup has an investor waiting in the first day of it. So you have a lot of instability in your finances as well, and your work-life balance also. So in terms of there is no defined time that morning. It can go from morning 6 to night 1, midnight 1 a.m. So you really are getting into uh, a lot of what do you say? The work-life balance is really not completely there, I would say. But sometimes there's no Saturdays, Sundays. You work on weekends. But in terms of some of the common patterns that I see between an entrepreneur and a professional is the adaptability. You need to adapt to the situation, right? In a professional, you would have to adapt within the organization. In a entrepreneur, you have to adapt to the dynamic market environment. The learning curve should be there. Professional, you have to you might be kind of putting up to certain training programs by your manager, but as an entrepreneur you learn every day. Every day is a learning aspect for you in terms of your skill enhancement. Networking, you might be able to network within your organization. If it's an MNC, you might be able to network with professionals of your own organization outside. But as an entrepreneur, you have to network externally. They're part of your business growth. They form your fundings, or they form your networking partners. So very, very important to network as an entrepreneur. And I realized this important thing only after being an entrepreneur. I mean, I knew my professionals in corporate across the organization, but not much on an external platform. But as an entrepreneur, you really have to network externally, and that is a very, very important skill that needs to be developed as an entrepreneur. uh, Goal setting, you have a manager who will set your goal in your corporate, but in a thing you have to set your own goals based on your business growth that you want to have, business goals of it. So in essence, both of it have its own challenges and also a lot of common patterns. But I think it's really enriching for one to experiment with themselves at least once being an entrepreneur,
So
because
is
it
that
is
is, sorry, is that the push? Because with that statement, I would like to understand: was that the push for you to get into Grapevine, or it was something else for you to start the Grapevine?
see, the entire journey of right from my childhood is doing something good back to the society.
And
Say in
that's
the
what has
form
been
of
said
childhood,
in our,
India Chat Masala, the Viman
yeah.
programs, all these things somehow I've been like that since my childhood. So
Okay.
wanted to do something back, but within the corporate space of it, it was a limited time that I could get for myself. So, with being an entrepreneur, I wanted to select one particular topic which is both close to my heart as well as it interests me. And this is one space that I thought that, I mean, you see walking around, every locality, every area has one dumping yard within their own locality. It's a common sense for us to say that, hey, don't dump here, right? But how commonly it is known to everyone. So this is one space I felt that I could probably pick up, which is close to my heart. As well as an entrepreneur, I could become an as the entrepreneur which I had in myself can convert to becoming an entrepreneur. And I feel that yes, we all need to experiment with us. Otherwise, we will never discover ourselves. If
Hmm.
you're into our day-to-day tasks of getting up at 7, going to your office at 8, working till 7 p.m. in the night, coming back at 8, then again starting to work sometimes in your home, where do you get your time to really discover yourself?
Hmm.
And that is where being an entrepreneur is really important. So it could be. I mean, I've seen statistics. I've seen various reports where they say 90% of the startups fail within the first 5 years of it. Startups fail. An entrepreneur can never fail. Entrepreneurs always win, because the amount of networking that you get, the amount of learning that you can get, the amount of self discovery that you get, these are all aspects for being a winner. So startups might not be able to achieve their goal of why it was started, but as an entrepreneur, they will achieve everything beyond what they had aspired when they started to become an entrepreneur.
So, Prasad, you have uh, given a very not new dimension, but a very interesting perspective. You have touched upon some interesting perspective. Let me put those interesting perspective. So, one, you told most of the times when we talk of entrepreneurship, people talk everything, how challenging it is, how difficult it is, what changes, what doesn't change, and so on and so forth, right? But you have touched, what I liked is you have touched one particular point is decision making, right? That I have heard it very minimalistically. Not everyone talks about that, because entrepreneurship, I am also going through, I have also gone through a couple of times, and so on and so forth. And that is one aspect. In organizations, you have your colleagues, peers, your seniors, juniors, on whom you can, अच्छा ठीक है यार, अच्छा ये project है ना, ठीक है, you do it, you take, you call it, you do it. ask me, right? If there are any challenges, you come to me. You are so conveniently offloading or delegating stuff. Here, I don't have anything to delegate. Do I go out for printout? Do I, matlab, you rightly pointed out. And decision
Yeah,
making at every instance is so critical. If I don't decide now, there is no, I can't fall back on any of my junior to decide because there is none,
exactly,
right? And
exactly.
your decisions at that point of time makes or fills your canvas of how the day will be or how the year will be or how the month will be, right? Whatever जो छोटे छोटे decisions आप लेते हो, that defines your
Mm,
outcome. And which
absolutely.
role, very interesting perspective that you have shared, and that is one. And second, you have just shared now in terms of self discovery. Again, I don't think anyone talks about self discovery because uh, uh, entrepreneurship is a journey. We all brag about
Mm.
it. We all, it's not an easy journey, and it's not for all the light-hearted. Uh, if you are having a good income, please stay there, settle there. Don't even think of venturing into it unless and until you want to do a self discovery. अगर आपको अपने आप को पहचानना है, I don't think so. I call entrepreneurship as a profession. There is any other profession better than entrepreneurship for your own self discovery. There might be many other uh, professions also, but this is also one of the best professions to discover your own self. How good you are, how
Yeah.
short tempered you are, how calm you are, how patient you are, how are you able to manage your stress. If you are pushed against the wall, then how you are managing it, how you are maintaining it. And the third aspect that you have mentioned is entrepreneurs never fail. It's the startups that fail. These three very beautiful, beautifully put forward, and thank you so much. This has been a very interesting discussion. So I thought just to summarize this, but summarize these three aspects. We have a long way to chat, but before I forget, so I thought why not capture these three elements. So yeah, Prasad, over to you. Yeah, continue. So why now? Why now? Why? What is it that catapulted, made you think कि अभी is the right time to start off? And yeah,
See,
or
personally, I would say that the best time to start is right from your college, just after your
hmm,
college. You're at your least amount of risk,
hmm,
right? But as you grow, there is a certain set of responsibilities as
hmm,
families that you
hmm,
come up with, and uh, and as I realized at the age of around 34, 35, I felt that I was blessed with a small kid at that age, and then I said that I have time till another next 5, 6 years. So whatever experiment or whatever self discovery I want to do, I have this period of it.
yeah,
After this is a little, probably it could be a little difficult for me personally, because every personal, I mean, it could vary from individual to individual.
right,
So at my realization, I said that this is the next 5, 6 years that I have for myself. So why not I really experiment with myself? Why not look into different aspects of it? Had I been in my corporate career, I wouldn't have been able to really author a book. Had I been in my corporate career,
hmm,
I wouldn't have made a significant impact on the number of tree plantations or the number of plastics that I have saved in going into the landfills. So I, it was that part of it that really helped me to kind of make that this is the moment. Let me plunge. Anyways, which there is that I have a net down. See, I see this like when I see as a from a career perspective, I've jumped a ladder. Yeah, I
hmm,
was going in the automotive industry. I was climbing the ladders in an automotive industry, and then suddenly I said that I want to go into a space of e-commerce or into B2B segments, which is into the green sustainability.
hmm,
So it
hmm,
was like for me jumping the ladder from that height of it to another ladder.
hmm,
But I always felt that there is a net below. So why not jump? Right? The net below is my family.
hmm,
So even if I fall, I know that my family will not help. I will fall into their nets, so they will help me out. But if
right,
I jump and reach into that ladder, I can always grow further from there. So I feel it's important. It's important for all of us to get into that self discovery. After all, we all have one life, right? So why not discover yourself? I say this, that why don't you give 1 2 years of time for yourself? What is the
Hmm.
urgency of reaching somewhere, right? If you don't give yourself that 1 2 years, there's no point in getting into a rat race of running up the ladders, and then after that you you don't after then you're retired and you feel that, oh, I should have tried this.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was my that was all my exposure and things
Yeah.
that
Beautiful. Beautiful.
this.
So yeah. So and you have spoken briefly about you authored a book. Okay. And if it would have not been possible, it would have not been possible if you would have still stayed in the professional world. So let's talk about that, because a very interesting topic and very hot and burning topic that you have picked up as a topic of your book, and that is also fortunately the topic of our discussion today, which is embrace the unknown journey. Heads up for your startup. So tell me something more about uh, this book. How did it been conceptualized? How it came into being, and what pushed you to start this particular topic? Why this particular topic?
I'm really excited. My book is probably, I'm going to really get the book in hand today or tomorrow. It's already
Oh,
available
that's
on Poison Store,
yeah. So
Amazon,
first of
Flipkart.
all, congratulations on your book, and I wish you loads and loads of success on this particular book, because I know the pain of writing a book. I have also authored a book, and my book got released on July 30. So
Oh,
I understand the journey that one goes through when authoring a book while donning too many roles. So congratulations
and
to you,
also you
and
get that excitement of getting that book in your hand that day, right?
yes,
So,
yes, yes.
so uh, transitioning from really a thriving corporate career to embarking onto an entrepreneurial journey, I really came to comprehend the excitement, the challenges that come behind with building one's own business. So I was able to understand there is a quick difference between managing 1,000 crore of business
Hmm,
versus creating a lakh of revenue for your own enterprise, right?
hmm,
There's a huge difference. You
hmm,
can manage 1,000 crore of business. They say, right, in your many of the resumes that you read, have managed 1,000 crore business, or have. It's different from actually creating even a few lakhs of turnover when it's for your own on enterprise. And I found myself seamlessly shifting roles, transitioning from really being an office boy, head of strategy, head of marketing, head of finance. And this versatility and exposure were really the facets that I scarcely really encounter in a corporate world if you were there.
hmm, hmm,
But what really struck me is that everyone, or most of them that you speak with, they have one or the other idea within themselves that they feel that, well, I would want to do this. It
hmm,
could be that I want to become a chef, or I will work till this much amount of time, and then after that I'll try this. So for all the entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurs or those who are really aspiring to become one, the experiences can be unique. They can all come with unique experiences when they start their entrepreneurship. But the emotions that they go through will be almost the same. So I felt that for an entrepreneur who wants to really, for a person who's aspiring, who wants to start their entrepreneurship, they need to prepare their mindset that these are some of the emotions, these are some of the things that you will go through when you are onto this journey. There's a lot of unknown territories that you get into. So I cannot say that this is a territory you will get into definitely, because it's unknown for me, it will be unknown for you. So there are unknown territories that you will get into, but you have to embrace them. And that is when I felt that it's important for all, it's important for me to share my experiences, put them into a small form of a framework, and let the readers who are interested to get into entrepreneurship know about what kind of expectations. It's just a heads up. Yeah, just like we get a heads up, this is just a heads up for them that these are some of the things that you might encounter when you're into an entrepreneurship. So that's why I penned down this book, and uh, um, it's about to be launched. I said I'm going to receive the copy today. So it really helps entrepreneurs to mentally prepare themselves to face the unpredictable, right? That is in the entrepreneurship. So that's about
Yeah, it's
this.
good. So, your topic is very interesting. Embrace the unknown.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
So, what? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Now I can hear.
yeah. So, what is unknown in this? Because your topic says embrace the unknown journey. So, you have anyway shared some inputs over there. We have been talking about, and you have given some ideas, some inputs. But uh, just if I have to detail out, what is the unknown variables in this apart from the business function of it? Yes, definitely. But is there any particular aspect that you would be talking about, or it's in general?
So, embrace the unknown journey really encapsulates the essence of the entrepreneurial path. It highlights the uncertainties, the unpredictabilities of being an entrepreneur as they encounter, navigate through the world of this business.
Hmm.
So, there are a lot of uncertainties that you can see in terms of like you're uncertain in terms of outcomes. Unlike in traditional careers, one might have a clear trajectory of your promotions, advancements. Entrepreneurship offers no such guaranteed outcomes. Success and failure both come with their own set of lessons, and entrepreneurs must be really be prepared to embrace this uncertainty. There's a lot of risk and ambiguity also. Like I have a practice of getting up and before I start the day, I write 10 things that I will do for the day. I think most of us have developed this
Yeah,
habit. But
yeah,
ultimately, I start when I look back at the end of the day, I see that there are two or three things which have got added into it because there was a lot of you can't expect everything that you can plan for the day. There's something
mm,
else which will come up as being an entrepreneur. So there is a little bit of ambiguity. And like I said, on the decision making, entrepreneurs often need to make decisions based on incomplete information. If you were in corporate, you would say that I need these reports, I need these things, I need this data, I need this information for you to make decisions. But in an entrepreneurship, especially being in an early stage, you don't have every data on your table for you to make decisions. So there is a lot of incomplete information and limited resources. So therefore, you start making decisions based on your hunch and based on your experience, whatever you have. And there's a lot of risk associated with it, with these decisions, which can have substantial outcomes from it. Markets, like they say, pest analysis. You would have done all these things as being an entrepreneur, but the market is dynamic. We have to accept as being an entrepreneur, and they are subject to a lot of rapid changes, and entrepreneur needs to anticipate these changes. This is the part of the unknown part of it journey. What happens if they can create scenarios of what if this happens, what if this happens.
mm,
There's a lot of unknown things that they need to understand that market will change. Yeah, so the dynamics of it is what they need to understand. That is where the unknown journey of it is. Uh, Adapting to the change in the market, change in themselves. Because, like I said, being in a corporate and entrepreneur is two different things. You start changing as a person as well. So that itself is an unknown journey. You get into it was not known to you. Yeah, you can handle these intricacies of a business. You could probably for example, one of my co-founders, he didn't know about the marketing part of the business branding and all this. Today he's an expert. Yeah,
mm.
he was a pure finance guy, but today he's an expert in marketing. He's becoming a thing in this. So you get into the unknown territories, and you become an expert in that as well. So there's a
Mm.
lot of unknown things that we are not aware, but as you are into this journey of it, you discover these unknown things.
So, does your book also help aspiring entrepreneurs or professionals to one, to understand this unknown journey, and two, to build a scalable and profitable business? Is that also something aligned to the journey?
My book speaks for an entrepreneur. I see entrepreneur and entrepreneurship as two separate things.
Hmm.
Entrepreneur is yourself.
Hmm.
Entrepreneurship is the journey. Yeah.
Journey. Okay.
So that is where a lot of what kind of co-founders you need to select, what kind
Hmm.
of when do you go for funding, when do you scale it. So all this thing is part of the entrepreneurship. But
Hmm.
I'm more talking as an entrepreneur as an individual perspective.
As an individual,
But
okay.
as an individual. But when you talk about this question of scalability and profitability, it's very important from a startup perspective
Hmm.
because in today's time, these two things are not seen in together.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
might be from the old school of thoughts, but I really believe it's important for all of us to
So, I'm
appropriate.
interjecting. So, it's not old school now. In today's scenario, this is a new school. Okay, the investors are not losing their purse string. They are very clear. Unless and until you have cash flow, and that to a positive cash flow,
Exactly,
we are not
exactly.
losing our purse, boss. We are not giving you anything. So all those vanity metrics have disappeared suddenly in the last 1.5, 2 years. Yeah. So it's not
Absolutely, absolutely.
only.
This exactly. In fact, that's one strong point that I wanted to give to all your audience. That it's important to look at your cash flows and make sure that the model is a profitable one rather than just spending or your cash burning your investors' money. So get the model profitable based on the profitability. Accordingly, scale it up. So just don't jump into raising funds and make. So first start sure, make sure you are bootstrapped, evaluate the model, ensure profitability, and then scale up accordingly.
Great. And is there any framework? Is there any mantra? Is there any tool? Is there any template that you follow, or then you would advise our audience in terms of how they can navigate through this change? See, change is inevitable. There are no two ways about it. So the only thing that we can do is we can prepare as much as possible in the best possible manner with the bestest of the tools. But then nature has its own way of surprising everyone for that matter. Okay. So uh, but but just to limit the damage in whatever possible way uh, that is available, do you have any framework, or do you suggest any framework, any tool, any template which will help entrepreneur to navigate this journey beautifully, at least with, or mitigate those challenges?
Yeah, I think that's what even my book is about. That's the small framework that I've given. But I also believe that there isn't a one size that fits all of us, right? So there's no kind of a guarantee that an immediate shortcut will be helping you in mastering this skill or this concept of entrepreneurship. But there are few things that you can take. For example, you need to have a mentor. No matter how many years of experience you have, you need to have a mentor who can guide you. And I've also written clearly in my book on there's a difference in having mentors with a startup experience and a mentor without a startup experience. A mentor who has a startup experience really understands you much more better than a person who probably could have retired of being a vice president of a certain company or a president of a certain company. But there is a difference in a person who's really had a startup experience. So having a mentor and what kind of a mentor that you can have good relationship with such mentors. So that's one thing, that you need to have a mentor. That's one thing. Networking and collaboration. I can't more emphasize more on this aspect of networking. In fact, that's how I got to know you. That's how I got the
Yeah.
opportunity to be a part of this show, because
Right.
we both are part of a networking community
Right.
called SIT.
Yeah.
So it's important that we can. There's more such communities and platforms. So we all need to make sure that we get into those networking events, communities, and make sure that we keep the networking going on strongly every day after day. Learn from the mistakes. Like I said, you make a lot of decisions in a day, so there's always a possibility you make some wrong decisions as well. So be aware of that, and it's okay to make those mistakes, and we have to learn from those mistakes. So, well, it's nice to say it's a Gyan thing, but when you feel that you would have done this at that point of time, you might feel a little low, but it's part of the entrepreneurial journey. You have to accept it and move on. So learn from those mistakes and move on. Also get into a lot of these online resources that is available, upskilling yourself. I got into when I also took up the entrepreneurial journey. I also got into I am Bangalore, where for 11 months of it, I got into this program, a general management program, which helped me to upskill myself and helped me to get into each and every one of those departments to understand their work and how I can bring it to my company. So, getting into learning also not just from your mistakes but also from other online resources or colleges, institutions. It's important for all of us to get into this. So, these are some of the things that I feel that mentor, get a mentor, get into networking events, learn from your mistakes, and learn from other institute. Learn, get into these learning programs, and
Skilling
uh,
yourselves or reskilling yourselves, kind of.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Right.
And all this thing, I would say the final thing is maintain a journal.
Hmm.
It could be a diary, I think, whatever it is, but make sure that end of your day, write whatever you feel, whatever you believe or you face for that day. This journal practice, has really helped me personally a lot, because
Hmm. Hmm.
when you look back after so many days after this, oh, you were this kind of, or you faced this difficulty and you handled it. So you feel that nothing is permanent. So whenever these challenges comes, whenever these you kind of, the way you start looking at it, it becomes, you mature as an individual. So
Hmm.
maintaining a journal is very important on a daily basis. And in fact, in my book also, at the end of it, I've given a certain set of questions for entrepreneurs where they can write as part of the journal experience, and also help them to relook after a few months of being in the entrepreneurship, to relook back why they
Hmm.
started and what were their aspirations, to make sure they correct it. You don't get distracted from being part of this journey.
Hmm. Hmm. So, a very interesting thought in terms of writing journal. So, honestly, and this is my personal question to you. Since you have mentioned the journal, I tried it many times, but I could not continue it, consistently do it, and I have not been able to stick to writing it on a daily basis. But I am always a firm believer of it. And what happens is, maybe many of out there would be feeling the same thing. What to write becomes very challenging. Okay, so there are a lot of thoughts come into the mind. Should I start with my challenges that I face? Should I start with the triumphs that I happen, or the small winning moments that has happened over the day? Or should I just write general stuff? I have gone there, been there, I have done that, and so on and so forth. So if you can just take a minute or so to explain in a very simplistic manner, wherein the habit also gets stuck with us, so it doesn't look intimidating, it doesn't look complicated, and many of them would be able to start their journey, maybe. So what is it that we should write? What is it that we should note?
I think your day, how was your day? What did you do in the day? Just
Hmm.
write about that. And whom did you meet?
Hmm.
What did you speak about it? I think that
Hmm.
this small things is enough. So,
Yes.
how this happened for me as a practice was like I started writing about in LinkedIn.
Hmm.
So my observation wanted, I started observing things in a different way. So
Hmm.
my observational skills or those stories, I started writing it down.
Hmm.
Yep,
Hmm.
probably a small discussion between me and my employee, a small discussion between me and
Hmm.
my manager. Okay, I
Hmm.
probably will not. You will not be able to voice out everything in your company.
Hmm.
This journal was where I was voicing my opinion. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
mm,
that's the slowly started in terms of that opinions. I started to frame it out in a different aspect of it. Why I believe that this, it could be opinions, it could be my personal opinion, but how I believe and why I believe this is my opinion, I started writing about it in my journal, which translated to kind of a small post for the next day. Yeah,
mm.
and
That is
slowly this habit of it helped me to start observing things. I know I need not be a part of that discussion, but I could
mm,
observe when two people are discussing what are their opinions, why are they
mm,
believing in these opinions of it. So it helped me to understand that aspect. So write about those, write about how your day was, what did you believe, whom did you meet, what was the discussion, did you have a difference of opinion, why do you think the other person believes in this. So these small things, so when you're writing, you're also thinking, and when you're thinking, you're able to understand that person much better rather than when you're having that conversation at that point of time.
mm,
So it could be even your own news that you have seen. What did you believe of this news? Did you have
mm,
a
mm,
various opinion of it?
mm,
Could be a debate that you have seen on a news channel. Do you have
mm.
an opinion about it? We all have an opinion about everything, right? So why not just start writing it in the form of a journal? Yeah,
Beautiful.
your
Beautiful.
entrepreneurial experience of it. What did you face? Anything new? Decisions. How many decisions do you think you made for the day? And there
Mm,
were so many things that you could write. But it's just that one. If you ask me one particular thing, they say, right? I mean, you've written no matter 150, 200 pages of your book,
yeah,
but to find one title for the book which summarizes your entire thing is quite
yeah,
difficult.
yeah. I
And it's the
agree.
same thing here also, right? You would have
Yeah.
experienced so many things in the day, but finding that one particular moment which you
Uh,
believed was could summarize your day is something you can write.
Beautiful. So, thank you so much, and it's been lovely talking to you. I wish we could keep continuing it for the next few hours. I don't mind doing that, but being the format of this show, so we have to come to a pause. So, your closing comments and advice to our audience, Prasad.
Just don't postpone your dreams. We never know if there is a tomorrow. So it's
Beautiful.
essential for every one of us to recognize that time is a resource and we can never reclaim or once it is spent. So if you have a dream, go chase it. Don't just postpone that I will do it after so many years of it. That's one closing comment or an advice to all the audience.
So yeah, but it's beautiful, and I think it's not closing. I think it's an eye-opening comment, and definitely it starts a new beginning. And thank you so much, Prasad, for sharing your valuable insights. And it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And I'm sure today I have taken many inputs from you. I have uh, uh, had a very great discussion with you. I will definitely go back and listen to this audio and video, and I will take some inputs from this. And with your permission, I would also like to write a LinkedIn article on few of the elements that I have captured from this particular discussion.
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your permission and sharing your valuable insight on our show and discussing the various facets of how to embrace the journey seamlessly and how to navigate it smoothly. Your learnings and framework will help a lot many out there in dealing with the situations better. Thank you once again for your time. That's it for today. Do keep listening to the Prakash Batna Show, as every week we will come with an expert to share their views and experiences. Lastly, let me know what you think, and I greatly appreciate it. Myself, Prakash Batna, reminding you again, selling is easy when you know how. Take care. Follow High Sales on social media and do visit our website for free resources www.highsales.in. Thank you once again, Mr. Prasad. And I'm sure we will, our paths will cross and we will meet again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.